Internal Revenue Service IRS Tax News. IRS enhances Get My Payment online application to help taxpayers. IR 2020-82, April 26, 2020, Washington. The Internal Revenue Service today announced significant enhancements to the, quote, Get My Payment, end quote, tool to deliver an improved and smoother experience for Americans eligible to receive economic impact payments. So if you've used this tool in the past, if you had problems with this tool, they are constantly updating this tool. I have heard people that are having a few issues with it. So they have adjusted it. So you're going to want to go back in there and check it out again. Again, that's the Get My Payment tools related to the economic impact payment. Back to the text. The enhancements, which started last week and continued through the weekend, adjusted several items related to the online tool, which debuted on April 15th. The additional changes will help millions of additional taxpayers with new or expanded information and access to adding direct deposit information. Quote, "We delivered Get My Payment with new capabilities that did not exist during any similar relief program, including the ability to receive direct deposit information that accelerates payments to millions of people," end quote, said IRS Commissioner Chuck Rettig. So he's saying basically this is a new thing we've never done before, and we're able to put these new kind of features in on this one-time type of program that we haven't had on an ongoing basis. Back to the text, quote, "These further enhancements will help even more taxpayers. We urge people who haven't received a payment date yet to visit Get My Payment again for the latest information. IRS team worked long hours to deliver Get My Payment in record time, and we will continue to make improvements to help Americans," end quote. Quote, "We encourage people to check back in and visit Get My Payment," end quote, Rettig added. "These enhancements will help many taxpayers. By using Get My Payment now, more people will be able to get payments quickly by being able to add direct deposit information," end quote. How to use Get My Payment. Available only on the IRS website. So obviously when you want to use this tool, you want to make sure you're going directly to the IRS website. That's at irs.gov, irs.gov. The online application is safe, secure to use. Taxpayers only need a few pieces of information to quickly obtain the status of their payment and, where needed, provide their bank account information. Having a copy of their most recent tax return can help speed the process. So all you really need, as you might want to have for added information, is the most recent tax return, typically being 2019 or 2018 if 2019 was not filed. Back to the text. As a reminder, Get My Payment is a U.S. government system for authorized use only. The tool is solely for use by individuals or those legally authorized by the individual to access their information. Unauthorized use is prohibited and subject to criminal and civil penalties. For taxpayers to track the status of their payments, this feature will show taxpayers the scheduled delivery date by direct deposit or mail and the last 4 digits of the bank account being used if the IRS has direct deposit information. They will need to enter basic information including Social Security number, date of birth, and mailing address used on their tax return. Obviously, this is basic information that you want to make sure you're on the IRS website to give, because it's sensitive information as well. They need to know who you are. Who are you to the IRS? You're a number, Social Security number. They need to know the date of birth, and they need to know the mailing address used on the tax return. That'll help them verify the information as well as have the mailing if that's the way the check is going to be sent. But of course, they want the direct deposit information as well, would make it faster. Back to the text. Taxpayers needing to add their bank account information to speed receipt of their payments will also need to provide the following additional information. So if you're just going to get it by mail, those last 3 points are basically all you need. If you want to then get a speedier process, direct deposit, then they need your banking information. So that would include, back to the text, their adjusted gross income from their most recent tax return submitted, either 2019 or 2018, the refund or amount owed from their latest filed tax return, and bank account type, account, and routing number. So they're going to want to do some more verification here. So they want their AGI, the adjusted gross income. That's going to be on the first page or so of the 1040 form for 2019 and 2018. So 2019 if you have filed it, 2018 if not, the refund or amount owed from their latest tax return, and then the bank account type and the account route, and then the account and the routing number. Back to the text, Get My Payment cannot update bank account information after an economic impact payment has been scheduled for delivery. So once the payment has been scheduled, even if it's by mail, then if it's already scheduled, you're probably saying, hey, can I go back in there at this point in time and say I want it faster, I want to put my direct deposit information. They're saying it's too late by that point if it's already on the schedule getting ready to go. So if you look it up using the tool to look it up and they say it's scheduled, ready to go, then you may not be able to have the option. Then you don't have the option at that point to give them the direct deposit information to get it faster. If it's not scheduled, you would think then, therefore, you do have that option at that point in time to give them the banking information, which could speed the process up. Back to the text. To help protect against potential fraud, the tool also does not allow people to change bank account information already on file with the IRS. So they're going to be skeptical if you filed your tax return for 2019 and you've given them your bank account information and they sent you a check by refund, and then someone goes in and uses this tool and changes the routing number in a fairly short period of time to go to a different bank account. They're going to say that we're going to see that as suspicious activity or something that we're not going to typically permit. So if you had a strange situation where you had the bank account routing number on the 2019 tax return and change it, that could cause a problem there, because it looks like once they have the bank account information as an internal control to safeguard against potential fraud with all this money going out, they don't want to change the banking information once they have it. Back to the text. A Spanish version of Get My Payment is expected in a few weeks. Watch out for scams related to economic impact payments. The IRS urges taxpayers to be on the lookout for scams related to economic impact payments. To use the new app or get information, taxpayers should visit irs.gov, irs.gov. People should watch out for scams using email, phone calls, or texts related to the payments. Be careful and cautious. The IRS will not send unsolicited electronic communication asking for people to open attachments, visit a website, or share personal or financial information. So if you get any kind of electronic type of information or even something by mail, you want to be very skeptical about opening something, because they're not going to put links that you're going to basically open, because that's kind of a spammy type of thing. That's not typically something that would happen from the IRS, or a return type of thing that you would have to give back to the IRS or ask for personal information in that format. Typically, they're not just going to call you and say, hey, give us personal information, especially if it's in the format of, we need this now. If there's any kind of sense of urgency, that's a typical kind of scamming type of thing where, we got to get this settled. We need this information now, this sensitive information, and I can handle this for you at this point in time. What you want to do is just say, no, just stop. And then you go to the IRS directly. Go right to the IRS website and see if you could follow up from the source. It'll take more time that way, obviously, but you have confidence that you're going to the source and then looking from that point. Back to the text. Remember, go directly and solely to irs.gov, irs.gov for official information. More information. The IRS will post frequently asked questions to irs.gov/coronavirus and will provide updates as soon as they are available.